God, I come before you tonight disappointed by all the things that the coronavirus has canceled and all the things that are happening around the world right now with all the sickness and all the chaos and all the fear and confusion and just everything that's going on right now. It's a lot. There are some things that have been canceled, as you know, that I'm deeply disappointed about and that I was really, really looking forward to. But God, help me to trust that you have a plan for all of this and that a closed door is not necessarily a closed door. It might be an open window. It might, lead to something greater and better. And help us as your church to see the good in all of this and not just see it as this pandemic to be scared of and to run away from and to hide, but help us to step up and step in and be the church. Help us to be a light in this dark world. Help us to use this as an opportunity to share your name and your good news of the gospel with the world. Help us to not join the world in fear and anger and confusion and anxiety, but help us to rise above it. Help us to stand firm and stand our ground, be grounded in your love, be grounded in your truth, and to praise you even when the mountain is in our way. God, it seems not that long ago that I was on the mountain, and now it's in my way. But you're the same God in the valley as you are on the mountain. And God, I want to worship you even now when everything is being canceled, even now when there's fear in the world, even now when people are still getting sick and the virus is spreading and we don't know where this is going to go, we don't know what's going to come of it. God, even in the midst of all of this, help us to rise and sing of your great love, of your great name. God, I pray that you would use this for your glory. I don't know why you sent this or allowed this. I don't know why all of this is happening. I wish I did. I wish it didn't have to happen. I wish that the things that have been canceled didn't have to be canceled. I wish our lives could go on as normal. I wish people weren't in the stores fighting over toilet paper. I wish it didn't have to happen, God, but I know that it's not just something that happened and it's not an oversight. You didn't say, "Oh, gee, I forgot that was happening and now it's canceled. Whoops." No, you planned this. You've had this planned all along. It's part of your narrative, of your history, your story. God, I pray that you would help us to see the good in all of it and to help us realize that it might just be a blessing in disguise. It might just be a mercy in disguise. Help use this not as a worldwide pandemic, but as a worldwide revival also. Help us to use it as an opportunity to spread your gospel and your truth to the world, because God, this is a weary world. It's a dark world. There is sin, there is sickness, there is fear and dread, but God, you are the light of the world. You are the hope that this world needs. God, we need you. Oh God, how we need you. This world needs you. This world is crying out for hope. God, help us to be the light in the darkness. Help your church to step up, step in, and be your church, to be your hands and feet, even in this pandemic. God, help us to turn it into a revival. God, I beg you that you would use this for your glory, that you would use this for your good, that you would help us to see what you're doing, that you would open the eyes of our hearts, that you would open our eyes to what you're doing. I pray that you would let the world see you. Show the world your glory. Let the world know your name. God, I've seen faith that moves the mountains, hope that doesn't never end. Even when the sky is falling, I've seen miracles just happen. Silent prayers get answered. Open hearts are made new. God, we need you. America needs you. Europe needs you. France needs you. Japan needs you. China needs you. Australia needs you. Every nation needs you. God, help us to see it. Help us to see your name and your glory. Use this for your good, God, please. Don't let this be just another thing that gets written down in the history books and forgotten about. But God, use this. Use this. May this be the turning point in history when the world realizes that you are good, that you are King of the world. God, help us to see it. Help us as your church to not back down in fear and to not hide, but help us to be a light in the darkness. Help us to be your messengers of hope to the world that so desperately needs it. God, we need you. I can't say it enough. We need you. Help us to not be shaken and to not doubt your love and your grace. Help us to not doubt your plan for our lives, no matter what has happened, no matter what has been canceled or what has changed in such a short amount of time. God, help us to not see just the here and now and the things that we can't do here and now and the things that we want. But help us to see your will in all of this and to think ahead to the future, to think ahead of all the good that could come of this, all the people who could be brought to you because of this, all of the lives that could be saved because of this. Help us to not see it just as people are dying of sickness, but help us to see it that people are dying of sin and hopelessness, and they are dying apart from you. Help us to go out and be your light to the world. Use this to motivate us. May this be an awakening, a wake-up call to your church to remind us that you are here, that you are good, and that you are working. God, you are working even now as the virus is spreading. Even now, you are working. Even now, you love us. Even now, you want to show your glory and your power to the nations. You desire our hearts. You desire us. And God, I pray that you would use this to show us how much we need you. God, I find it amazing that you want us, that you love us, that even when you allow something like this to happen, that you are still here. You're still a refuge for your faithful ones. You are still a shelter in the storm. You are still a stronghold for those who call on your name. God, I thank you for that. I thank you that your promises are true, that they never end, that you will always be here, that you will always be with us, and we will always be with you. God, I thank you for what you did on Calvary to save the world, and I pray that you would use this right here, right now, even as I'm praying this for your glory. Open the eyes of our hearts, God. Help us to see your glory and your majesty. Bring light to this dark world. Bring hope to those who need it most. Use us to be your hands and feet, your messengers of good hope and peace and joy and love, even in this dark time, even in this time of uncertainty where we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know when this is going to end or what life is going to look like moving forward. We don't know the full extent of this. But God, even now, as the disease is ravaging around us, help us to be still and know that you are God. Help us to be still and remember your faithfulness. God, I pray that you would remember your people. I pray that you would remember your children. I pray that you would remember your promise to never leave us nor forsake us. I pray that you would use this for your glory. Again, I can't say it enough. God, we need you. We need you. Use this for your glory. I pray this all in your precious name. In Jesus' name, amen.